All right, Kevin Harvell from STLTechTalk.com here at Kansas City Developer Conference, KCDC 2014, sitting here with Nate Taylor. Nate, how's it been?
Good.
How's it been doing?
Good. Been doing good.
So, Nate, you're presenting again.
Yep.
Doing some more speaking.
Yeah.
Here at the KCDC.
Yeah.
How's that been going for you?
It's going really good. Really surprised, or not surprised, but impressed with the turnout this year. It was like 700 or 800 last year, and I think they're talking about 1,000 or 1,200 this year. And,
Yeah.
which is nice. There's been very few talks that I've been in or given that were, two people.
Mhm.
So which is nice. I think that helps the speakers when there's more
Right.
than just a person or two.
Yeah. So you've already had both
both
of your
of mine,
sessions. Yes, you're pretty much done. You get
I
to
am.
relax and enjoy it the rest of the way.
I do,
now.
yeah.
Good. So what sessions did you speak on?
So the first one I spoke yesterday was called "Can Professionals Wear Shorts?" and that had the most feedback I've ever had, and that all happened before the talk. So like most conferences, you had to submit it months ahead of time, and so I've known for a couple months I was going to be speaking here, and coworkers are coming up to me and making sure like I'm going to say yes, and then people on Twitter that I'd never met were like, "Oh, you're going to say yes. You better say yes." Or if you say no, there better be a but right after that,
Right.
and all this kind of stuff. And I didn't want to give it away. I mean, part of coming up with a creative headline or title is you don't just give it all in the title, right?
Exactly. Entice
So-
people to come to your
Exactly.
session.
Yeah. If I say no or yes and then we're done, then you're going to miss out. And in all honesty, that was one slide. The answer was yes for anyone who's watching, but the whole point was really we're a young profession, and we get a lot of things wrong about what it means to be a professional, and a lot of times we get caught up on, can I wear shorts? Do I have to wear a suit and tie? Is
Right.
it business casual? Is it 9 to 5? Is it flex time? And that's all fine, and you kind of have to live within the confines of your company. So if your company says don't wear shorts, then don't say, well, Nate said I could.
Right. Right. It's all up to your individual employee.
Exactly. So professionalism isn't determined by that. It's determined by a bunch of other things. And so that's really what the talk was let's get in here, let's have a conversation about what does it really mean to be a professional. And we looked at some other professions like lawyers and doctors and CPAs because they've been around a little bit longer. And
Right.
common people will say a lawyer is a professional. And I guess by common people, I mean not developers. But everyone will say a lawyer is a professional, a CPA is a professional. It's probably a coin flip if you went and asked, are you a professional as a software developer? Am I a professional as a software developer?
Right. Exactly.
Some people will say yes, some will say no, because they all know somebody that can make websites.
Right.
And I want to get away from that. And I think that's part of us maturing as a profession. Let's get away from that. Let's be professionals.
Right. Especially, nowadays there's a lot of people that just kind of like do consulting. They're independent.
Mhm.
They don't always work for a corporation
Right.
or a company. So there is that kind of fine line
Absolutely.
of knowing when to dress appropriately and how to act
Right.
and respond in certain situations and just be prepared.
Yeah. So one of my concerns was I didn't want us to confuse being corporate with being professional, because there is a ton of individual consultants working out of their house, right? There's no reason they can't be professional, but it would be stupid for them to run their consulting environment like a corporate office because it's just them.
Exactly.
But yeah, so our company does a lot of solutions consulting, and our dress code is somewhat relaxed. So if we wanted to wear shorts, we can. But at the same time, I know that we're probably close to landing a contract that if we get it and I'm on it, I should probably not wear shorts because I might have to go out there spur of the moment. It's another company in town.
Exactly.
They could call me up and say, hey, can you come take a look at this? They don't allow shorts in their office. So if I'm walking in,
Your
raggedy
Nike
T-shirt and
nice
cargo shorts.
Nike basketball shorts.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's a whole air of unprofessionalism.
Exactly.
So yeah, can I wear shorts? Yes. But does it mean I can wear shorts in all situations? No.
No.
So.
Exactly. Right. So what else did you speak on?
So I also talked just finished it up. Landing your next job. The subtitle is "You Don't Want to Be a COBOL Developer in the Corner." And we talked a little bit about there's a lot of technologies that are still in use today, classic ASP, VB6, things like that on the .NET side, that nobody really wants to write, but people are maintaining them. And especially people at this conference, they want to be doing things like Knockout or Angular or REST APIs or MongoDB or whatever the new stuff is. And so it was just kind of like if you're not deliberate about it, you're going to wind up your next job is the same as this job, and you're going to last about a year or two, and you're going to get frustrated the same way,
Right.
and then you're just going to keep repeating the cycle. And so it wasn't a BuzzFeed here's 10 tips you need to land your next job, but
Right.
it was kind of like here's the thought process you need to have. And there were some tips in there. My favorite one, and this helped me out this past year, was create an oh no list. And a no list is something I came up with when I was doing a little bit of startup work. Worked at a really small company. There was 6 of us. I had the understanding it's privately owned. The owner could just come in and say, "I'm done. I'm tired of my bank account going down. We're done." And that's exactly what happened.
Right.
So it was good that I was prepared. Oh no list was former coworkers that had moved on, recruiters that I had talked to. Like I've done a lot of interviewing for companies. So those recruiters, just this whole list of people that even if they didn't have a job, they knew someone that had a job.
Right.
And so I got laid off on a Wednesday. They laid off all the developers. They laid off everybody. And in the layoff meeting, I was texting one guy I'd been talking to. I was like, "Hey, can I come by your office?" And he's like, "I'll see you in 20 minutes." I walked out to my car, called my wife. We homeschool, so she doesn't work from home.
Okay.
So income insurance all on me.
Right.
So I was a little nervous I wasn't nervous, but I was nervous about how she was going to react.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I called her and I say, "Hey, here's what happened. You'll never believe it. We just closed down. I'm going to go talk to this guy, Andrew. It's Wednesday. If I don't have at least interviews by Monday, something's wrong."
Mm-hmm.
And sure enough, I was laid off Wednesday. The following Thursday, I accepted the job and had a few other offers that just didn't work out for what I wanted to do. But it was in large part because I had this oh no list. And so that's the crisis side of it. But you can employ the same thing when you're actively looking. Like even if you're not laid off, you're just like I don't want to do .NET anymore. I want to do Node or I want to do Ruby or whatever. You can employ the same thing. You have those same connections. So
yeah, it's kind of it's just always being prepared for the next step because like you said, you didn't expect to walk into work on Wednesday and say,
yeah,
we're going to shut the entire
Right.
company down, and that just catches you off guard. And by being prepared,
Right.
by knowing people and saying people you can contact quickly, you're able to move fast, and
Right.
not miss too much.
Yeah, so I don't know that I contacted one guy that directly got me an interview, but everyone else that I contacted couldn't get me an interview. They were a startup company or whatever, but they all knew a guy,
Right.
And so that's the key is knowing people who know guys. I was telling him in the talk, I don't want to be the guy that knows 100 people. That's too taxing for me.
Right.
I want to know the guy that knows 2 people that know 100 people, and now I know 200 people. And so
Exactly.
it's like developer mind. Let me be efficient about this. I know you two. You know all these people.
Exactly.
Hook me up.
Yeah,
So
that's good. Well, I mean, yeah, that's great because in that whole development and incorporation, you just never know.
Yeah.
So you want people to be prepared.
Yeah,
So that's
it's
great advice.
It's really messy. I mean, obviously, you have the low performers; they get laid off. But you also have the people that are paid a lot; they get laid off too, because some people come in and all they do is look at budgets, right? Oh, this guy's making the most money; let's get rid of him.
Right.
Ignoring what he brings to the team. So if you're on
Exactly.
either end, there's someone can come up with justification for laying you off. And in states like Missouri and Nebraska, they don't even have to. They can just say you're done working.
Right.
And that's the nature of our profession. So yeah, being prepared. And then, even if you're never laid off, hopefully I never go through that again, but even if you never are, you have to be prepared if you decide to start looking. Because once you decide to start looking, it's too late to get prepared, because you need some lead time. You need a few months to try out a test project in a new language that you want to go after. If you're looking for a job, trying it out,
It's just too much going on.
Yeah.
Too stressed with
Exactly.
the other factors going on.
yeah.
So what do you got going on next? I mean, what's next for Nate?
I don't know. I enjoy speaking. Just started this job a week after I got laid off, so that was good. And it's Node.js now primarily. But the next contract, the one I was saying I wouldn't be able to wear shorts for, if we get that, it'll be back in .NET. So it's just doing a lot of really cool projects. We do some work with Stratcom, so the Department of Defense Strategic Command, which are really cool projects. A lot of
I
data
bet.
visualization and things like that. And so it's really a great time right now to just be creative and not have things dictated. So it's not a legacy application that like, oh, we need to add a field.
Right.
So really just kind of putting all my effort into that, and probably be on the lookout for a few more conferences to talk at, because
Right.
I enjoy coming down and meeting people like you guys. I met you guys last year at Data.net. Met some other people, met some of the Glimpse guys there, and now we have Twitter conversations and stuff like that. So that's always fun. That's the joy
Right.
of conferences.
And then being able to see your Twitter friends. back
Yeah,
in
yeah.
person
You're like,
again.
oh, that. So I don't know if you know who Keith Dalby is from
Yes,
Iowa.
he was
Yeah.
just on our Codecast this most recent episode.
Okay, so I followed him on Twitter for probably 2 years before I ever met him.
Mhm.
And it was always like he would go to Nebraska Code Camp and I wouldn't be there that year. And we finally met. Actually, we met here last year. And it was just like, it was weird because like I'd followed him on Twitter and I knew all of like his business stuff going on,
Right.
and it was like I finally get to meet this guy, and it's a nerd celebrity development kind of thing. Like most people don't know who he is or care about who he is, but it was for me. It was like, oh, I finally get to meet this guy.
Yeah, and he would be here this year, but his wife's really close to having their next child.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he's not here this
All right.
year.
Well, if he watches it, then congrats.
Right. Yeah, everything's looking good.
Yeah. I saw he wasn't going to be here. There's a couple other people I was hoping to meet up with again, and for it's May, so there's graduations and all this kind of stuff
Yeah.
that they couldn't pick up. But yeah, so probably looking at a couple conferences to go to, and
Any ones in particular?
no.
I mean, I know it's all schedule and
Yeah.
with this.
I
job
actually
and
just
everything.
saw what is it, Thunder Plains or something. There's an Oklahoma City conference.
Okay.
I missed the deadline was last night, and they were more. I think they were more like if you've written libraries, they wanted you. Maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
If somebody's watching it, they can correct me. But it wasn't going to work out on my timing, and I didn't submit to that conference this year up in the Dells. But
Okay.
that's one of my goals is to go up there sometime because it seems like a really neat.
Yeah,
conference.
Wisconsin Dells is a beautiful area.
Yeah, and the lineup that they have seems to be a really wide variety as well, which is always
Right.
good.
Yeah, which is really good. It's not just focused on one kind of thing.
Yeah.
Think you might make it back to St. Louis this year?
Yeah.
Things work out?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's funny. One of the reasons I wanted to go last year is train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, representing my gym here. But
Right.
the gym is like part of an association that's headquartered in St. Louis. And so when I was down there, I was like, oh, I've got to go. I've never trained at the main school. So
Okay.
I still didn't train at the main school last year because there was a satellite at St. Charles, but I went and trained with those guys for a night. And it was super fun. And then the conference was really good. And I was like, either one of these things by themselves would have made the trip worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to make it back. You guys planning on if
Yeah.
it's still the
Yeah,
November timeframe?
it'll be back in November
Okay.
again. It's like around the 15th, somewhere in that area. 12th to 15th, I believe.
Yeah. I'm horrible at taking vacation, and then I always get at the end of the year and have to use it. So maybe I'll just do that. Just say, okay, I'll take off this week and go to St. Louis.
Exactly. I'm the exact same way.
I like working too much. I mean, it's honestly what it is. Like, hey, this is a fun project.
Right.
Why take it off and sit around the house and play Xbox? Like, I could write something cool.
Right, exactly. Well, Nate, thanks for taking
Yeah,
the time.
thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming back.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
And we look forward to seeing what you got coming down the pipe next.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Bye.